This is Live for Love TV. Live for Love TV. Yes, I am.
One step more. One step more. One step more. Until you reach your goals. One step more. Save them soul. One step more. One step more. How good it is to reach the
Live for Love TV. This is Live for Love TV. Live for Love TV.
Hi, welcome back with Live for Love TV. Hope everyone is doing well out there. Today is the 13th day of the 5th month of the 21st year of the 21st century. I'm back here with Odishaba, but he is actually in a new day. So he's in the 14th of May. I'm in the 13th of May due to time differences. So that's how it is. So I welcome you again back to Live for Love TV, Odishaba.
Mr. Chase, I'm most grateful for having me today too. I hope everything is okay.
Everything is good. You know, my favorite journalist, my favorite entrepreneur from Africa, all the way in China. Loved speaking to you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chase. Thank you.
Okay, we left our last program off with some quick talk about Ashanti. So we're going to start today with the Ashanti Kingdom, a little bit of history on the Ashanti Kingdom and what it's all about. But what we do know, for us who let's say most people have heard of the Ashanti Kingdom in West Africa, Ghana, but what people do know is about the golden stool. So how did the golden stool come into the Ashanti's possession?
Right, Mr. Chase, thank you again for asking me this question, and also for your viewers and your listeners, welcome them. First of all, the Golden Kingdom, the Golden Stool came into an existence from the years from 17th century, but because of based on Ashanti calendar, we were not using the kind of Western calendar like years or whatever. But today we can say it's from the 17th century. That was the beginning of the Ashanti Empire, where they became the powerful empire. So the Golden Kingdom came in existence from the man called Okonfo Anoche, which was the high priest of the Ashanti Kingdom, where he was migrated from the Akwiapim land and came to Ashanti and became friends with the then king of Ashanti, Osei Tutu I. So he came in collaboration with the Ashanti Kingdom and also consulted their oracle from the heavens, and they were able to command the golden stool to come into existence in the Ashanti Kingdom. Okay,
wonderful. So the golden stool descended from heaven under the command of Komfanochi, who is a man who looked very much like you in traditional dress. Is Rastaman, as far as I understand. He carried locks. I say Rastaman, but he had locks. Let's say he had locks. And he was from Akwiapim, which, as far as I understand, is near the Aburi Mountains. Is that correct?
The now eastern region. Akwiapim is found in the now eastern region.
Oh, the now eastern. So, okay.
Right. So Anoche, for the credit of your viewers, Anoche was a high priest. Today we call him the fetish priest of Ashanti. He was performing his miracles in the eastern region now, and it was a Akwiapim land. So for his description, he was like me here, wearing his dreadlocks, have his own all this power, the things that makes him so powerful in the spiritual context. So he's a powerful man that he can see the future. He can see spirituality. He can see. That was what we know from him, and he performed a lot of miracles before he remembers his friend Otumfo Osei Tutu, the king of Ashanti, and migrated to the Ashanti Kingdom to come and come together with his friend so that they can occupy more territorial lands in Ghana and Ghana today. So that is where the Ashanti, the Golden Kingdom, the Golden Stool started during the 17th century, coming up to today that we have existence as Ashantis.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so Komfanochi, we have the original Tom 4. Okay, so we have the Ashanti region. We know that the Ashantis were great warriors. And we know, just like the Roman army, many of the people who were in the Ashanti armies were actually from different parts of Ghana. They weren't born Ashantis. Just like our Rome had Germans and Dutch and all kind of different people in their armies, the Ashanti was able to, basically Ashanti are the brains of West Africa because they were able to get people to fight in their wars. Is that right?
Right. You are right, Mr. Chase, because for example, let's do this comparison. It's like the modern day America. America have a certain way called allies. Ashantis in the West Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, then today Ghana were able to capture a lot of cities or territories or states where they became all their allies, and they were able to move with their military, paramilitary to go ahead to defeat a lot of states, to which make them powerful in Ghana. Now we are talking.
I just want to jump. I'm going to jump forward a long way, but I'm going to come back to what we're talking about. Now, Confanochi, he is a man with locks.
Right.
And he is right at the beginning of the current powerful Ashanti kingdom and the forging of the Ashanti kingdom. And why is it that the Ashantis see locks as negative? Why is there so many Ashanti people not see locks as respected their own people who have locks? Why would that happen?
Right. First of all, every Ashanti or even any king recognize the powerfulness of the priest, the high priest of Confanochi. So everything in him is a significance of the success of Ashanti kingdom. So for me, from authority, no king in Ashanti doesn't have any respect for dreadlocks. To make it clear, every Ashanti king respect and recognize anybody wear dreadlock because they understand where it comes from. So before even the Jamaicans will call it Rasta, whatever, we will say this thing was existed in the Ashanti kingdom because of Okonfo-Anokye. So the reason why you can make that claim, or you can say that, Mr. Says, is that it all comes with colonialism, colonial mentality, where from the 1900s, where the British came in and they brought their system of governance or system of life, religion came in and all these things. That's where they started going against what we were having, against the traditions and cultures of Ashanti kingdom, the recognition of persons who live with their natural life as seeing this dreadlocks. We call it impese, which was existed back in the days, long years ago from 17th century, which was not today that anyone will come in to discredit it. So today, people that you are saying who discredit dreadlocks is the people that they have even to be manipulate their mindset or being brainwashed by the Western society or Western infiltration, religion, and politics.
Thank you very much for that explanation. I really want people to hear that, because a lot of people don't understand that, because right now you have people in Ghana whose children have locks, and these people will take their child to the police station, pay the police to cut that locks, to to abuse their own child. And it's amazing that at the beginning of the Ashanti kingdom that dread was respected. So to hear that from you is very, very important. Okay, so let's move on to some of the miracles that Confanochi would have given, because I know there was a great war and there were some sacrifices that had to be done in order for the Ashanti kingdom to become what it is. Now, we're not going to mix this. We're not going to mix this with what we were talking about last time when we were talking about the spiritual stuff, but it's spiritual. And not to be funny about this, we know blood was shed. So what Confanochi asked the Asantis to do and sacrifices to make in order for to win wars, or to go to war and win wars? What give us, you don't have to go on forever, but give us some feel of what was asked to be done.
Right. Because of today's existence of Western calendars, I'm trying to, let me help your viewers who try to do further research. Because Ashantis were not using days like the 19 or 70 or whatever, we Ashantis were using the sunset to determine our day. So from 17th century coming up, there was an incident. Now, before Ashanti kingdom became powerful, and with the help of Anoche, from 17th century to 18th century, some events happened. Now let me try to explain these events. Anoche became friends with Otu or Say Tutu, which was who was the king of Ashanti, and also for them to expand their territories. That is where they started with this wars. We're going to the war to defeat the Dangerous. The Dangerous in the central region was a powerful kingdom where they were able to control the Ashantis. So Anochi came in to help the Ashantis in order to defeat the Dangerous. They have to come in to do a lot of sacrifices, because in the principles of human life, without the sacrifice of blood, the existence of human nature cannot be existed. So Anochi understood this philosophy way back before any philosopher came to the existence of this land. So he told Osei Tutu to do some sacrifices through his chiefs, sub-chiefs, because they were having a lot of different states, which is the Asante Mampong, where I came. I'm from the Asante Mampong, the Juso, the Jabeng, the Kumawu, and the Faude. All these chiefs came together, meet in a certain position in Kumase, where it's now Menchia, and they discuss how they would defeat the Dangerous, their enemy, the main target. So Anochi gave them some things to do, which came in human sacrifice, where he needed 5 or 6 chiefs who will represent themselves in order for them to sacrifice them for Asantis to win that war against danger. So, as to your question,
yes,
5 chiefs were sacrificed.
Yes.
Which chief that?
Let me ask you this before you go into that. Before you go to the 5 chiefs, those 5 chiefs, did they give? Because these are chiefs now. We're not talking about foot soldiers. We're talking about chiefs, powerful people.
Main chief, yeah.
Yeah, main chiefs. So are we saying that those 5 chiefs gave up their lives? Or did they give up?
Exactly. They sacrificed themselves, and they told the then chief, the then Otumfo, the then king, that Nana, I'm sacrificing my life for you, for the people, for the kingdom of Ashanti, and giving my blood for the kingdom of Ashanti to defeat the Dangerous. So that's what they presented themselves. This the Mampo came in. That is where the Mampo came in and told the king that said to Nana, I am giving myself to the people of Ashanti to go and defeat the Dangerous. And when we come back, my people, any person who from the Ashanti, the Mampo Traditional Council, we also want the silver stool. That is why if you go to the Menchia now, when Otumfo is not there, the second highest most chief is the Mampong. So Mampong came in with Boahiananto. That's the name of the chief. Boahiananto came in and he gave himself, and the Ashanti also used him to sacrifice him. Jabin came in, Kumawu came in, and then there's another town I just forgot myself, like from the Fadi also came in, and the other chief also came in, and they sacrificed them one after the other. Some were cut their head, their head was being cut off. Some were being cut into pieces. Some blood were being also drained from them for the warriors to take this blast or bath with the blast and mix with some medicines in the herbs, so that their body become powerful, that maybe for simple analysis, you shoot them, you can't kill them. They can disappear at any time. That's where Ashantis were able to come together, do this sacrifice in the command from the high priest, which is Okonfonochi. So they killed these people. Let me use that. They killed them to represent Ashanti to defeat the Dangerous, Mr. Shades.
Okay, very wonderful, wonderful. Wow, that's amazing to hear that coming directly from an Asante man himself. So, 5 paramount chiefs from 5 areas were sacrificed. Their blood was put onto warriors. Some of them, even the skin was used for the warriors. Some of the blood was drunk, and these people went to war. And this was how the kingdom was forged together, was brought together by these blood sacrifices, and it's an amazing story. So we know we move on, because we know that the Asantes won the war and became the most powerful kingdom in that area of West Africa. We know this. So now so what happens after that? Where does Asantewa come in? Did she come in a long way after this particular war, or is that at the same time?
Right. Yasantua came in as the war where Ashantis were Ashanti. There was a war with the Ashantis were having more wars. So Yasantua's war also another war, a war of Sagranti. That's why Yasantua also led that war, a war of Sagranti war against the British.
Okay.
That's the war against the British.
Oh, that's a different time. Okay, so
that's a different
the
time.
time you were describing.
Yes, Yasantua led the war called Sagranti War. That war was against the British. That is where Ashantis were able to capture the British military leader, which is Sir Charles McCarthy, and cut off his head, brought to dementia. That is the war. Yasantua led that war. And there's a war they went to. Anoche also, the sacrifice where we are talking about was a war that they were going to Denchira to defeat the Denchira, the then Buampinsim. The powerful empire, another kingdom which founded in Ghana. That was the Denchira people, where Ashanti went there to defeat in the command and in the support of the chiefs, sacrificed their lives to go there to defeat the Denchiras.
I understand. So these are two different times, different wars.
Exactly.
The first war we talked about was the forging of the kingdom.
Exactly.
Yasantua was one of the many wars when they were conquering other places and tribes and probably gaining more land. Yeah, I understand. Okay, so that's very enlightening. Right. So at some point, they fight the British.
Right.
The British, they do well against the British. They take a lot of lives, but they also lose a lot of lives.
Right.
To the point where the British get what we call the upper hand in the war. And they actually are able to capture, I think, either Yasantua, definitely one of the Ashanti kings, and they exile them on the Seychelles. Yeah, they exile them to the island of the Seychelles. But I do know, and people can look this up, that king that they exiled into the Seychelles, though he was outside of his kingdom, he was treated with utmost respect. Apparently, he had a great place on the island. He had great food, servants. He carried all his servants with him and stuff like that. But this is what happened, as far as I know. He was exiled for some period, at least 20 years or more.
Right. From he was exiled from 18th century after the British came to ransack the Menchapal, which is 1802. That's where they took the king, that then king, you call it Prempeh the First. From 1802. That's where British came into the Menchapal, because the Ashantis were able to kill their army commander. So they came in to ransack Menchapal, and they took the chief and the rest, some of the people, to go to take them to when they went to Seychelles Island, where the Ashantis, some of the Ashantis were able to follow up. That is which they came to the spread of Ashantis across the Western Sahara territories. So the reason why the British did this thing to take the chief there is to go in there to not try to re-educate the Ashantis. That's what I can say, because the Ashantis was so powerful to the extent that there's nothing that you can do to them that they will back off.
Right.
There was nothing to do. You British were able to do, because they tried to come come in an agreement with them, but it couldn't work. So the British also tried to they use technological weapons and all this way to try and capture the head. So when they're able to take the head to Seychelles, that's where they were able to calm down, or in another perspective, they defeat the Ashantis.
Yeah.
And they brought him back in the 1925, or as my mind sounded correct, 1925, the 1920s, they brought him back.
Yeah, and when they brought him back, he was a Christian. He had converted to Christianity.
Re-educated him, and when he came back from the 1920s, he became Christian with the British doctrines, and he came back with to assert his throne again, and the British came in control in Ghana, which is not at the then time Gold Coast. They came in control.
Yeah. So many people would hear that and think that the Ashantis were conquered by the British, but in the Ashantis' mind, unless you capture the golden stool, they are not conquered. Is this?
We have never been conquered. We have never been conquered, because in the blood and toil of our great-grandfathers, Anochi told us that until you take the golden stool, which is the blood of the Ashanti, the superior head of the Ashanti, you can never defeat anyone. So as long as the British could never see the real golden stool, no Ashantis were defeated. We have never accepted this. Although they took the chief, the then king, they took him to Seychelles, yet the golden stool was still alive.
I know they substituted a fake stool to the British. Later on, the British realized it wasn't a real stool. But what I would like to ask you, the golden stool has some of the blood, I believe, of those 5 chiefs. Is that right?
That is a replica. That's a replica of the Ashanti.
Also, the real golden stool, has no blood on it.
That is a replica, because before the golden stool will come, there was sacrifice. That is sacrifice of our blood, the blood of our great grandfather.
Okay, I get you. Okay, so the sacrifice comes before the stool.
Exactly.
Okay,
I'm not confine this stool from the heavens with the sacrifice of our great grandfathers.
But I always believed when I was in Ghana that even though the blood had come, that the stool itself was actually bathed in blood of somebody at some point, that it had that's the reason why it has that color, because when it's seen, you can see it's got very dark color and the wood is. So I don't know. I thought that there was some blood on the stool. You're saying there is no blood on the stool.
No, exactly. Because in terms of traditional setups, there's a lot of things that we do in the secrets of our small rooms or black rooms. So in the forms of tradition, there's a lot of things that our chiefs and our servants do to empower our ornaments. So in this case, when you see the golden stool, it doesn't mean it is blood, but it was a blood that before the golden stool arrives.
Yes.
The blood of our.
Thanks for the clarification. Okay, so what I'd like to know now is, because we are intrinsically connected, Jamaica and Ghana. Yeah,
exactly.
In many ways. So one of the ways that we know, we talk about Bobo Shanti, and they talk about the Ashanti. Rastas in Jamaica say Bobo Shanti. We have the Karamanti, we have the Mangpong, we have all of those things in Jamaica. But we also have a flag in Jamaica that when I was growing up, I didn't know how that flag came about. But when I was in Ghana, I saw that the Ashanti king in the Mencha Palace, which is his personal palace, has the same flag. Now I'm asking you, how long have the Mencha Palace had that flag?
Right. The Mencha Palace have been able to maintain this symbol or the flag or this symbol for centuries, from 16th century, the beginning of the Ashanti Kingdom, 1640 coming up. It has been there since 16th century, because the flag have 3 symbols: the green, yellow, and the black. Now, this all have a meaning, a simple meaning that it is today. You can even verify it by yourself that the green represents the green land of Africa, Ghana, which is the ecology. We have the green land. We have the vegetation, and the black represent the spirit and the blood of our ancestors, and the yellow represent the golden kingdom. So this has been there as existence of the Ashanti Kingdom. The flag has been there as existence of Ashanti Kingdom.
Yeah. So what's interesting is that the Jamaica flag, which is exactly the same as the Mencha flag, yet the Ghanaian flag, which has the black star, which that black star comes from Marcus Garvey's Black Star liner.
Exactly.
So you see the connection between Jamaica and Ghana is powerful.
Exactly.
Both of our flags have got something to do with the other place. So it's very, very interesting how powerful that is. I mean, I'm just listening to you. I'm taking it all in. There's more. If anything else you want to tell us right now about the Ashanti Kingdom, about its current state, for instance, what is the current? Oh, actually, before you go there, in Ghana we have chiefs everywhere. We have chiefs from the Volta to the north. But as far as I understand, there's only one king in Ghana.
Right.
The Ashanti king, the Ashanti chief is, he's the king. Asante to be correct, yeah? So why is it only one king if there's so many tribes?
Right. On the issue of that question too, let me use example like America or Britain. Britain fought a lot of wars and they have a lot of territories or occupations. So it's the same thing as in the Ashanti, where in the sub-Saharan, Ashantis were able to defeat a lot of lands. So as long as they are defeating, they conquered a lot of lands, and they became so powerful to the extent that they were there before 1900s, coming 1920, 1930 to 45, and to the 57, where British came in with this political leadership, where they brought in the democracy, or before coming got the independence. So Ashantis have their way of living their own system, own democracy, where before the British introduced their system of governance and their democracy. So before British came in, there was democracy. The Ashantis were saying that they have their own democracy, where when the king sat on the stool, and they were able to negotiate, do everything by themselves. So after 1957, Kwame Nkrumah got the independence from Ghana. They have to make it a legitimate right for the Ashanti, and they have to recognize them in the constitution of Ghana, that even though Kwame Nkrumah have got the independence, that they have a central government, but they must give recognition to the traditional setups, where the Ashanti was also powerful, and they have the king at then. So as long as the constitution have been changing due to military coups and all these political setups, all of them will never forget. They always remember to recognize the chief system. So when Kwame Nkrumah got independence, he came to meet the Ashanti, the powerful kingdom. So he also give recognition to them. So all those who preceded them or succeeded them, they were not able to change that. And that is why the kingdom of Ashanti were able to recognize in the constitution of Ghana that the king of Ashanti and the sub-chiefs. So because it's a reality, there's other chiefs were not able to fight wars, defeated many places, so they became chiefs, although have a lot of recognition, but because of the Ashanti were warriors and fighting for different territories, they were having a king. Mm-hmm. So that's what Constitution of Ghana recognizing as a king of Ashanti and the sub-chiefs. So the sub-chiefs may come from the north and the west and the south and the east. All of them were seen as the chiefs, but they have a king recognized in the Constitution of Ghana as long as Ghana Constitution is concerned. Mr. Chase.
Okay, so here comes the controversy now.
Exactly.
Here comes the controversy and the controversial part now. 1957, Kwame Nkrumah. Prior to 1957, Kwame Nkrumah goes around to the chiefs. What you say is correct. The Ashanti chief, the Ashanti king stakes their claim and says, whatever system you have, it has to recognize us, the Ashantis and the other chiefs, because we were here from the inception. So Kwame Nkrumah gets there. Now Kwame Nkrumah gets power. As he goes to power, he now realizes that all his dreams of democracy, which he dreamed about, like he saw in the West, in America, in England, is now going to be a problem, because now there are unelected people who can challenge him in areas. As you know, Kwame Nkrumah is nothing in the Ashanti region unless the Ashanti king gives him the nod. Yeah, right. And that's true across all the areas in Ghana. So Kwame Nkrumah, no matter how intelligent he is, he finds himself with a problem. So now he tries to unhinge the chief's power. He tries to do what they did in Tanzania, let the chiefs remain, but to take their power away. Now, as history tells us, the Ashanti king rises up and says, no, you don't take our power. We are the power. You came to meet us, what you were explaining. And the Ashantis basically said, we are going to march on Accra. You know, that's what you're going to do. We're going to march on Accra. And after a few skirmishes and stuff like that, Kwame Nkrumah had to back down. And he had to back down. The Ashanti king remained in power. And therefore, all the chiefs around Ghana basically have their chieftaincy recognized because of the power of the Ashantis. That's why you guys are seen as the real well, you know, I mean, you're where the Golden Kingdom is anyway, but you are, with all the wars and standing up to Kwame Nkrumah, and everyone has to give allegiance to the Ashanti king, right?
Right. It's the same as today, democracy. America portrays himself as the beacon of democracy because they are able to fight for more territories and try to expand their wings. It's the same as the Ashanti. Ashantis were able to defend culture, tradition and culture. So it gives a room for all cultures and traditions to rise. So that is why if you go to Ghana now, Ashanti's language, which is the Twi, the local dialect, is the Twi, is the most wide spoken language in Ghana because they were able to spread their wings, and it helps the chiefs, the medium chief to rise. And that is why today every chief recognize the Ashanti because they help to promote tradition and culture. Because when the Ashantis stood up and tried to expose themselves, it reflects in every part of Ghana in the sub-Saharan land. So even though there's a lot of chiefs around there powerful in their own circles, they still see that Ashantis are able to help in terms of protecting and projecting their history and culture. And the Ashantis are able to represent culture without any differences. They will every time, even in their last blood, they will still defend their culture without anything to lose. They will defend their culture. And it has helped other chiefs, other tribes also to come up to defend themselves too.
Yeah, I mean, that's wonderful. I live there with you, so I know that's what you are saying is correct. Though there are a lot of people who are not Ashantis in different tribes who really don't like the Ashantis. You know this, right? Because they believe the Ashantis see themselves to be too big and bad and tough and they control everything. So, you know, they were behind closed doors, they will speak negative about the Ashantis. But in reality, what you are saying is true. Let me ask you one thing. You say we're talking about the Ashantis, but the Ashantis, as far as I understand, they are Akans. But the Fantis are also Akans. The Akuya Pims are also Akans. What is the difference between an Akan and an Ashanti? What is the difference?
Right. This is the deal. When Ashanti started fighting for more territories, where everywhere they go, they capture, they install their own settlements. So when they are moving on, they are expanding their clans. And the reason why we call our clans, we have clans. They are Akan clans, which is the descendants of the Asantis. So Asantis is a tribe. Asante is a tribe. But Akan is a clan where it involves a lot of families. Asante is a tribe.
Yeah. So let me get this. Let me get this, because in Europe, you would say the Germans and the British are the same people. So they would be like two tribes, but they are really one dramatic nation. They are They are particular people. You can mix a German with a British, but if you don't hear the language, you wouldn't know the difference. So is that what you mean? Like they are one clan, but different tribes? Right.
Exactly. We are the same people with different tribes. We are the same people. We are all Akans, but with the different tribes. So we have the Fante tribes, the Ashanti tribes, the Bono tribes, the Voltarian tribes, the Northeast tribes, the Goma tribes. But we are all Akans, which is the same.
And is there any Akans outside of the Ghana territory?
Exactly. We have a lot of Akans if you go to Brazil, if you go to Egypt, if you go to South Africa, if you go to Namibia, if you go to Swaziland in eastern part of Africa, and even if you go to different places in Jamaica, Barbados, Guyana in South America, we have all these Akan clans living there because of trans-Saharan trade, Atlantic trade, and all these things. The historians may find it because of internet explosion. They may find it there. Akan tribes are spread across the globe, Mr. Chase.
Okay, so now that we've established that the chiefs and the kings were protected by the Ashanti king, the Ashanti king himself, what I'd like to know is, how do you see the merging of democracy and the chief system? Because you have the chief who is unelected, can't be opposed, and you have democracy where people come every 4 or 5 years, 2 terms like America, and then they disappear. So from when I was living in Ghana, there's no doubt that the chiefs of any individual area are respected 100 times more than a political leader. Am I right there?
You're correct.
So how does the system work? I mean, I personally believe that Ghana should go back into its tribal regions, and the Ashanti should be left to read the Ashanti. The Frafra should be left to run their place. The Ewas should be left, because the system you see in Ghana, I can't make any sense of it. When you're trying to get something done, the amount of people that they put in your way is amazing. And I know that if they had their own traditional areas where people take their own power. I could go straight to the chief and I could get anything I want done. So how do you see this?
Right. Mr. Says, this is the biggest problem that we are facing in Ghana, in Africa. Before the colonial system, all these tribes were living in their own circles and they are all having their normal development for themselves. And if you go back in Africa or in Ghana, in Ashanti region, they were having their maximum development as they wish. But when there's this, the emergence of Western democracy came in, it has destroyed a lot of things. For example, no country were able to develop with this set of Western democracy. The country was even developed with a force before they introduced democracy. For example, you cannot live in a democracy in a system to develop a country with different sharing of everyone expressing his views. People, because human beings are dynamic. So in the Ashanti context, there's supposed to be an authority, which is now they describe as authoritarian. For example, in China, here I'm living right now, they have authoritarian system, or which is the communist system. It was the same thing in Africa, where they use that to develop their country, because if you give too much freedom to people to express, as the Western democracy say, freedom of speech, freedom of what, it does not have development. You cannot develop a country with that because of different views, because human beings are dynamic. Secondly, when Ashantis were living in their own system, they were having their development. But when they came into the system, to the emergence of politics and these things, because of corruption, it doesn't help you to chase anyone, because they will take you to court, and the court, as long as you know, we doesn't say the truth there. We say we use the law, and people are so smart to manipulate the law. That is why when you go to Ghana, it is difficult to develop a country where the power, they have a system of chief system and political system come together to develop. It's very difficult for you to develop the certain system. So people are always agitating that, why don't you give the system to the chief, back to the chief? Now, the answer is no, we can't wait, because of colonial system. British were able to defeat the colonial system, the traditional system, where they were able to use. That is why some people will tell you that it is in some people's interest for Africa not to develop. It is some people's interest, because if they were having their traditional system, I'm sure that today Ghana will never be the way it is. Ghana will have been far ahead, because politics come with corruption. Politics, it comes with corruption and destroying of assets and the life of people. It is real, because chiefs will one day see that if these people are my people and I must think for them. But today, chiefs that we are witnessing, they are all politicians. Today, chiefs are all politicians, and they are in support of politics and destroying the continent of Africa. So I am also in support that if we were in the back system, like the one they call it, the dark ages system, like the traditional system, we'll have been able to develop ourselves, because every tribe we're trying to make sure we won't breed unemployed people or lazy people, because you are being born and raised to be hardworking citizen. So I'm sure, but from then to now, we have come up from a lot of things, a lot of difficulties, because as long as human generation are growing, the mind is also growing, and some things will have been changed, Mr. Chase.
Well, okay. I understand what you're saying, and like I say, there's points of views. I do remember that when we spoke on your program back in Africa, that there were a lot of people who liked the colonial system as well, prior to the independent system. The older members thought that things used to get done under colonialism, as bad as it was. Some people believed it was better. And what you're saying, I personally believe, having spoken to the people and lived with the people, that people should live under their own traditional systems. You can add some democratic pieces here or there that suit your system, suit the way you do things, but not to wholeheartedly bring it in as if you can have an American type or English type democracy. It won't work with African people. I don't believe so.
And one thing I will also add to it is, British, every slave trade, or every slave, or every control go with their own rules. So British install their British system on us. How can that be possible? It's like you telling me to take my skin and wear a skin of a European or American. It is impossible. Either I will cause a damage to myself or I'll die. So that is why democracy that from the West is being also killing people, destroying the land, because the people does not understand what were being imposed on them. Our politician today in Africa doesn't understand democracy in the West because it is different from their lifestyles. And we are just learning. And when you go to school to learn something, it's either you fail or you pass. There are two things. So our people are failing to learn from their slave masters. And the politics that these people left to them are able to consume their own self, consume their own resources, because British and the Europeans are able to manage the system to suit them. Because even if they give in 1957 that they told Cameron, okay, you have the power to declare independent, yet every institution was there and it's still now. And British Embassy, Commonwealth, everything was still alive. So what is the significance of this independence? They will tell you, oh, you have the freedom to vote. Freedom of the what? Just democracy in Africa is to go and kill to vote. That is it. This just to kill and vote. That's what the British brought to us. It doesn't bring anything. Because when you tell me that, oh, I have given you democracy, what is democracy? What is the meaning? Your description does not value to the lives of the people. The people does not understand it. So what is the importance of it? That is why sometimes people side with the communist country, like especially like China. They are saying we have our own democracy. It's the same thing. Ashantis, as my tribe, we're having our own democracy. That when you have a case, they have their own court system that the chief will sit down, listen to both sides, and make a judgment, and peacefully it will go. When they tell you to follow this law because they have a fear, authority, you will do it. It's the same as China here. China here, see how China has developed. Now the world is now made in China, whether we like it or not. In any controversies, the world is now made in China, whether we like it or not. Now, because of authority, people are able to abide by rules and regulations. But in our part, because we have not understand the Western democracy, things are getting messed, and it is in the benefit of the masters who brought that into it. And now see how the British and the West are American Africa. And now we are here where we are. We have no respect. People see us as we are poor. We are not poor. We are not poor, but they have damaged our thinking. That is the painful part of the destroyers of our tradition and cultures. That is the painful part of it. Even though some things were barbaric and so primitive, but I am saying that it was found in any part. If you go to Europe, the European Empire, the Roman Empire, there were things that were also barbaric, but they all come from it, and they have developed their country. So scholars and historians like you, when you all attest to it, that every country will never, you can't develop in this system of democracy that go and vote for people, but in the heart of you don't understand it. No one will support this, Mr. Shays.
Okay, so listen, Chinese people are doing a whole heap of stuff in Africa, in the Caribbean, in South America. You're in China.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying that China's come to colonialize Africa, or has colonialized Africa, or is doing it via the back door. How do you see the Chinese influence in Africa right now, especially in Ghana? What's happening there? Right.
The case is, if you trace the history from the Asians or the Chinese and they compare to Africans, the Ashantis, they look identical. These people look identical because we were coming from authoritarian system, and these people are also coming from authoritarian system.
Right.
We were not in the heart of us. We were under a certain control. And the reason why Chinese influence will be so massive and in the near future is that they understand that control the people and give and help them. That is how our people are. If it doesn't control us, you can never see the good things in us. So Chinese are coming there and they are merging with the people, and they understand how they should control the people. They understand it as the way our chiefs also understood it, and they were doing it back then. So they are going to merge with the people, but let me say, these Western people also, they are smart and they know what to do and how to manipulate their own democracy there. So that will be the fight between the struggle. It will be a political struggle. But the Chinese, they are going there with different set of thinking, not democracy, or they don't care about your election or whatever. That they care about the originating system, originating blood in you, where they know how to give what you want and take control of you. They know it, they understand it. And their influence in Ghana is so it will be shocking. The influence of Chinese in Africa.
Are you worried about the influence in Ghana? Are you worried about the influence in Ghana?
Well, in the other part, it's two things. I'm worried about the history of someone controlling us again, like the slavery. Right. I'm worried because when every society or every continent come to invade you in terms of economic invasion or political or war invasion, they take control and still destroy what you have and impose what they have on you. So what worries me is when they are able to control us, they will bring another slavery. That's worrying. But at the other part, I'm happy and I like it because they are coming there to help you to develop your country. Yeah, it is two things. They are giving you something and taking something. So now they are there to develop something and also take something. But right now, I does not have the power. I am thinking of two things. One day we will be in the same position as what the British did to us, and another day they also see development. Right. So right. That's the two things that I'm thinking right now.
Okay. Fair enough. We live to see what the future brings. Your Pan-African brothers and sisters on the continent and also in the they are up in arms about China. And you know what I find, hold on, before you go there, you know what I find interesting is most of those people don't want to live in the countries they don't want China to come into. They don't want to go to Jamaica and live there. They don't want to go to Ghana and live there. They don't want to go to Kenya and live there. But they're telling the people there, don't take anything from them. They're coming to do this to you. They're coming. So, well, I always say, well, if that's the case, then you bring your money and you help the people there. You develop the trains. You develop the whatever it is that we need there, because we and you have lived under certain circumstances where we've seen. Remember the road that was being built from Kumasi to Accra. That road was never going to be finished. Every government came, this one start, then this one stop, this one stop, this one start. Then we start to, all of a sudden you start to see Chinese on the road. The road is becoming to be finished. A road is taking decade and more to finish. So I don't know, when people make these statements about the Chinese, it's easy to say when you're sitting in the UK or you're sitting somewhere else in America or in Canada or somewhere where you're benefiting from a colonial master right in his own home. And yet you say you don't want anybody in Jamaica or anywhere to bring the Chinese. It's a funny argument to me.
Is that, sometimes I always see these people, my friends who call themselves Pan-African. I see them as sometimes they are just try because of so-called freedom of expression or whatever. They are just happy them. They are just saying things to happy themselves. But on the reality, they are just joking, because these Pan-Africans, with all due respect, living in America or UK or whatever, if you're sitting in UK and you want to know more about Ghana, you can't sit on Wikipedia or Google to tell me you know Ghana. This is I don't think this. Go there, because in the thinking of Chinese, they say we are there to solve problems. We are not here to make argument or explain things. So with all due respect, our brothers, if they really want to project or protect their motherland, they are back to my root. Please, it's not on social media. Please, it's not on writing articles. Go down there and do the work and improve the lives of your own people and your mother.
Are you saying that it's not on a reggae rhythm that they can develop Africa? They have to come to the land. What do you mean? You can't do it on it? You can't go in a studio and develop Africa on a record?
No. It's not about someone giving you a platform and sitting on the microphone and no. You are joking. You are just ridiculing yourself. Chinese will laugh at you, because Chinese are taking flight and going down there, building boreholes, building schools. Even if they are exploiting the people, they are showing them something. So you are talking on the social media. When the people see you, you become the enemy to them. I am telling you the point blank.
Very true.
The people see these Pan-Africans as enemy to them. They are just enemy in progress. Because you can't even come there with even second-hand clothing to give to your people. And you are talking on your radio, on your television, on your social media, telling them what to do. Someone is going there. Let me use this as an example. Chinese have a certain philosophy. They're saying that when a man's belly is full, the mind is asleep. So that's why if you come to China, when anybody sees you in China, the first they ask you, have you eaten? Have you eaten?
Right.
Yes, they understand that. So that is what they have now understood Africa, that hunger is killing Africans. So they are going there to help them to improve the agricultural system. Now, my brother Pan-African, please, have you ever go there to buy even 1 acre land to produce soya bean for them to drink, to get energy? Please, you don't stop that. If you want to develop your motherland, better go there. Stop talking. The talking is we have talked for most of 500 years. Please go there and do something. And if you go there and you run away, that's where you understand the reason why I am talking like this. Because we have nothing there to protect. We have nothing. Now the system has been invaded mentally. They have invaded the system mentally. So, Mr. Chase, our brothers and Pan-African is just they are looking for fame. It's their choice. I have no problem with them. But on the reality, please go there and wear your kente like this. If you want to stay in Ashanti region, you wear your kente and give the respect to the chief. Because right now, if I'm talking to the king, I have to do like this. Go down shows that I have respect for my king, the king of Ashanti, or any chief that I'll go.
Yes.
Then go there and do something. See them that if you can collaborate with them and develop any place that you selected want to stay. Look at them. Ghana started this crusade movement called a year of return. How many of them can you see in Ghana now? They went there as a party. They went there to do party.
Okay, but some are coming there. They say Stevie Wonder is going down there to live. I think I'm trying to remember some of the other celebrities that are now.
Stephen Harvey, Stevie Wonder, all these people, I hear them, they say they want to repatriate to Africa. Now, let me tell you this. Even let me quote Vladimir Putin of Russia, Russian president. He said, when you see African returning home, either going there with sickness or when he's weak.
Wow. So Putin said that. So what you are saying is that when the African, American, or even sometimes Jamaican have nothing left to offer, that's when they want to go back to Africa.
Africa. Hey. And when they go there they want to
my brother. Hey, that's harsh, very harsh.
No, it's reality. It's the naked truth. It's a painful truth. Whether they were they know what I'm talking about. Because if you go to Africa now in Cape Coast, if you go there and you see all these our brothers and Africans, whether they are Pan-Africans or they love Africa, when they come there, you see them holding sticks, walking sticks. We see them weak. When you go to airport, I'm an investigative journalist. I know what I'm talking about.
I know, and I've seen it, and I'm not going to. I would challenge you if you were talking wrong, but I've seen it. That it seems to be, but Jamaica is the same thing. When people go back to Jamaica, they wait till they're at the end of their life. They don't bring back the strength that they had when they were in the UK and America. But when they're sick and they're on an X amount of tablets and coming off with, that's when the time when they want to go to Jamaica, and then they wonder why Jamaica can't develop. I mean, it's amazing when you hear people talking. But Adishaba, it's been wonderful talking to you on the Ashanti culture, African history, seeing you in your traditional gowns like I know to see you in Africa. And I long for us to be back down in the motherland together, my brother. We're going to be there soon, one of these days, and we'll be having this same conversation there. We'll make sure we have some high walls and plenty of dogs around us, though. Yeah, just in case anybody rushes us. But seriously, it's good speaking to you, and take care of yourself. We're going to be back again soon on another topic with you, authentic Rasta, an authentic roots man, an authentic African, which predates all of those things.
Now, and Mr. Says, let us also make it clear. With all due respect to my brother, my Jamaican family, my Jamaican friends, dreadlock was originated from Africa long ago before the existence of Jamaicans.
That is not Jamaica. That's not in doubt. That is only person who could doubt that would be somebody who knows nothing of history. Because we
they want us to accept that we are Rastas. I'm not a Rasta. Not a Rasta, but I respect my elevity, my natural life.
Well, Rasta is, you have to remember, for Rasta in Jamaica, for us in Jamaica, Rasta is the one who brought back the African culture to us. So you see, when you see someone with locks, it's that they are upholding the African culture. No Rasta would ever claim that he's the one that brought locks into this that would be someone who is insane.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic. So those who hate those who hate dreadlocks, that they are saying that, oh, it's a Jamaican lifestyle, it's a this, it's a that, it's just a brainwash. And I wish them watching you, Mr. Shays, Live for Love TV, live on YouTube. You can learn something that dreadlocks is a lifestyle. Is people have this. These people are there for you to see that people are coming from afar. Humanity is from afar, not today, not 2,000 years ago.
Wonderful, wonderful. So take care, Adeshaba. Thanks for coming, and we will be back with you soon. Live for Love TV.
Yes, sir. Okay. I think let me give thanks to all your watchers and your viewers and watching us from across the globe. We wish you all the best, and please subscribe to Live for Love TV, because I'm in love with this TV, and there's a lot that we can share. Even if we want to repatriate to Africa, to build Africa, please listen to Live for Love TV, and there's more to come. Thank you.
Honor, my brother. Honor.
People, one step